That counts for something.
Ulva can threaten me all he wants. I am not letting my people back into those mines.
Will you be all right?
Yes. I can take it from here. You are owed, Huntress.
Ulvin's name keeps coming up. And it's never good. Sooner or later, someone's gonna have to deal with him.
So, that one can be deleted. Again, if it cuts out, I do apologise. We are suffering a storm at the minute.
Thank you, Huntress. I'll see the last two make it out.
There we go. Right. There's an unknown location there. Okay. So that's leading us up. Yup. Oh. Ah.
Make an interesting color for my armor.
Ouch. Oh, what's that down there? I can't see, I'm stuck in a tree. Something down there. Oh, it was that. That would be another watchtower.
I think I can climb up this cliff. I wonder if there's anything interesting at the top. Get a strong color out of this.
Okay. Oh, there's another pig. Yeah, it's another. Whoa! Watchtower. I mean, a game can't be perfect all the time. trying to think what I've got. Oh, I got Discord on. La 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 la. Like I said, I apologise if it cuts out. We are going through a storm at the minute.
An old Carja watchtower. I know what's inside.
Whoa.
Dyer can make use of this.
Hi. Yeah.
Oh, that's to hold on.
Yeah.
Ah.
Where are they? Oh, one there. Can you leave Mr. Simba alone?
Oh, take a nap. 74.
To a what?
74.
Alright.
Will that be fine or leave it?
No, let it go to 100 though.
Okay.
Now that we know the...
That cable's charging.
Yeah.
Okay, almost there.
Okay.
How high are we going up? Oh, there.
Wow. How did you do that?
I'm a pro gamer. What? Ah! I did. I'm glad I didn't fall off the mountain.
And then you die.
Yeah.
You actually die if you fall from the fall down.
Yeah, if you fall on this one, you do.
Oh wow, they die.
Now where am I going?
You don't. Do you not die on the other one?
From a big height, yes.
Yeah, very high as well.
I am
You-
going a
you
lot
in
higher.
space?
And there's...
No, I'm
something
not
with
in
those
space,
devices.
darling.
I'm just saying, because you
Nice.
said you were
Guess I'll
going up,
figure out what to do with it
above.
later. I can almost see that.
And whoop!
Oh, what are you doing? Oh, just jumping, of course.
Rattling down, yeah. Ooh. Okay, that didn't hurt me. Huh?
I can't hear you.
You what?
No, I can't hear you.
No, because if I have it on there, darling, it
Service
will
for Dyer.
Echo.
echo, yeah.
Roll them down.
All the way, yeah.
All the way. Love you.
Love you too, I suppose.
Oh, why do you want me to say that?
Ouch.
That must be chain scrape. Drew said I could get my bow upgraded in there.
Ooh,
Be
oh,
able to tinker with
oh.
the other gear too. Bristlebacks must have got these Oseram. I hope Erend and the other Vanguard are okay. Ground soaked with acid. Did the Bristlebacks do this?
Like I said, I was able to get in. Ooh, what's this? Ow! There's a bridge.
Outlander approaching. Is that the Savior? Wanna come in, Savior? Welcome to Chainscrape, Savior.
Open up, guys. Jorv's orders.
Good enough for me.
And please don't call me Saviour.
By the Forge.
Petra?
Aloy, what are you doing here? About time there was something worth looking at in this dump.
It's nice to see you too.
And not a moment too soon. Come on. Damn brewery's the only thing I can count on in this place.
Yeah, I heard. Machines, work stoppage.
Oh, those are just the latest malfunctions. Chain scrape's always been a few tools short of a kit. And right there is the biggest tool of all.
Our land, not our problem. The bristlebacks are everybody's problem.
Roland?
You've heard of him,
Yeah.
but he's a story best told over a cold beer.
Petra.
Tap.
I'm just passing through. I'm headed west.
Oh,
What?
You know the fence down there?
There's an embassy at Barren Light. I need to
The
make
ones that are
happen, and then
broken,
I
The ones to next to it.
keep moving.
Start forward.
ah.
Yeah, well, on that
course.
side, it's not our
Bigger
problem.
gears to grind.
But on this side,
Well,
is.
flame hair, good to see you.
Well, at least that fence is on
You gotta
Emma's
move on.
side, not on our side this time.
Petra.
But Emma's not really happy with you.
But if you want a cold beer and a few laughs with an old friend, come find me at the brewery. Your choice.
Isn't she?
What? I was too busy listening to the storyline, darling. I would like to listen to this.
T-R-S-E-D.
Yeah.
Well, this
I don't-
Sullivan guy sounds like trouble.
Love you. Go and do
Petra
your
could use some support.
whatever.
But first things first, I need to find that workbench and upgrade my bow.
Oh, workbench up there.
Workbench is free if you need to tinker with that. This is gonna be my day.
Thank you. Let's upgrade me bow.
You upgrading the bow.
Ooh, upgrade complete. Weapon stats improve. New. Oh, acid arrows. Weapon stats improved. I can do that as well. Nice. Coil shot. So that's done.
Emmy. I want the worst of there's still a load.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll take it. Woo, yeah.
Nice. Okay, let's outfit. Oh. Nora anointed. Oh, I can't do that one yet. Okay. Trap. Okay, upgrade your bow. Yay, acid.
Don't care what the job is, as long as I can provide for my boys.
A coil slot.
This should be useful. Now I just need to find Erend and help him clear the bristlebacks.
Yes. Oh, my stash. Okay. What? Yeah. Oh, okay. She's playing it as well.
How goes it, Hammerhead?
Huh? Gap. Yeah.
That's for my stash when I need it.
Yes.
Oh, there!
Don't know.
And realize. Yeah. Not working.
Tinkering with one hammer isn't gonna kill you.
Unless Ulvin and his cronies hear it. Now leave me be.
Shop looks closed.
Yep,
Can I still use the workbench?
I ain't gonna stop you.
The
Marines I can deal with. There's some unusual storms. Oh, hi! Let's hope they stay there.
Why can I not? Oh my god.
Hey, Mildef. Mildef. I took some of your stew last time I went into the wilds. Kept me going for a week. Felt like I could have put a strider in a sleeper hold.
Enjoy it while it lasts.
Sounds like you're serving up some impressive provisions here.
Not again. You can have the discount too, but you'll have to come back later.
I think you have me confused with someone else.
Olvin didn't send you?
No.
Oh, my apologies. It's just that his minions won't stop pestering me. Now I've even worn out my special grill. Since I'm in the midst of a crisis, perhaps you could skip to what it is you wanted?
Some of your food?
Of course.
Are Ulvin's people causing you problems?
Oh, yeah. They constantly demand my best, but the equipment I need to make my signature dishes isn't built for batch cooking. And don't get me started on the Ulvin discount they feel so entitled to.
And if you refuse?
I make meals. No trouble.
How did you end up in Chainscrape?
Heard about a new and upcoming town at the edge of the frontier. Where there's a town, there's a tavern. I was in need of work. So I got myself out here and started cooking. Some of these people had never tasted proper boars and berries stew before. Anyway, next thing I knew, people kept coming back. Guess they liked my food. Or the ale.
Your last customer mentioned your cooking really kept him going out in the wild. Where I'm headed, I could use some of that.
I would be happy to oblige, especially since you have the decency to ask pleasantly. But my special groove griddle is no more. Without it, I can't cook any of my signature dishes. I hate to think what'll happen when I'm forced to refuse Ulvin or his goons. Even if I already had the right ingredients, there's nothing I can do. Unless you can source me a temporary replacement?
What do you need?
For the ingredients, a few pieces of decent wild meat, and I'd say a big handful of bitter leaf stems. That'll do. As for the griddle, a corrugated metal panel might suffice until I can have a new one forged. You'd likely find one in the scrounger pile, if you follow the river to the northeast. Don't worry, I'll clean it first. You'll have no issue finding boars and bitter leaf on your way. Assuming you're as much a hunter-gatherer as your clothing suggests.
Thanks, Mildef. I'll keep an eye out.
So that's what gratitude sounds like.
And don't let anyone push you around, okay?
If you say so.
Okay. Right. So there's another one there. Let's just get rid of that for a minute. La 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 la. Special gears. I've got 3 of these. What are they used?
What do we think that another panel from a scrounger pile?
We are on the same side here. The Bristlebacks threaten us all.
Oh, drop the act. We all know it was the Carja who let...
What do you want, Ulvund? Some kind of payment?
My dear magistrate, you think I can be bought? If you want that whistle blown, all you have to do is have your soldiers remove the Bristlebacks and sign the concession decree.
There's me drink.
Face it. What other choice do you have?
Hi.
Savior, what auspicious timing.
Might we discuss a matter of importance to the Sundom?
We might. Later.
Very well. I shall be waiting.
So, the savior herself. Walloper of Derval, gutter of youth.
Maybe.
I've heard many tales of your beauty and heroics, my fierce lady warrior. Ulfant Freehold, at your service.
Oh, gentlemen.
So, what could have dragged you away from the fine silks and wine of Meridian to this smudge of a settlement? Your saviorly attention must be needed elsewhere.
I'm here for the embassy and...
The embassy? Why, by the forge. Ah. Greater gears for greater matters. Guess that means you'll be moving on.
Once I've dealt with any problems around here that need my
saviorly attention.
Ah, the Bristlebacks, of course. Got to get rid of them if you want that embassy to take place. Well, best get to it, hey? And off you go.
Not so fast.
Unless the Bristlebacks are like the Bellowbacks.
You don't seem to have a high opinion of the magistrate?
Well, I refuse to play nice to some fancy-robed parchment pusher when my fellow laborers are being bullied, intimidated, and taken advantage of.
How noble of you.
Noble? Ha! Born with a hammer in hand, I was. Nobody handed me anything or dropped opportunity into my lap. Everything I've achieved, I've done on my own.
And where is this hammer now?
The burden of leadership forced me to set it aside. The Carja risk nothing, while demanding that good Oseram gamble with their lives out there. Someone had to step up and say no more.
You ordered the work stoppage?
Indeed I did. We're laborers, not soldiers. Until the Carja clean up their mess and give us the fair deal we deserve, I'm not risking Oseram lives.
Fair deal? You mean your concession decree?
It's not my decree. It's on behalf of all the good Oseram laborers of this land who do all the back-breaking work, while only the Carja reap the rewards. All we're asking for is the ability to share in this prosperity for a land worked by the people, for the people.
Right. And just how much would be your share?
Only an amount appropriate to my contributions to this community, of course.
If Chainscrape is on Carja land, shouldn't a Carja be in charge? Who appointed you?
The sensibilities of good Oseram folk, of course. You think a Carja can head this whole venture? Bah! The magistrate can barely make the trek from Barren Light without losing a few screws.
So you have no real authority then? People only follow you because you say so. Loudly.
Anyone who has followers has authority. I've been with Chainscrape from the beginning. I mean, I'm practically its founder, and its honest folk know I'm indispensable to its success.
You said you founded Chainscrape. Somehow I doubt that.
Practically founded, I said. I alone saw its potential when it was just a smattering of tents in Barren Light's shadow. I invested in the mine, convinced some friends back home to do the same, and here we are. You could say Chainscrape is what it is thanks to me.
Oh, so you're not just standing around and profiting off everyone else?
Not at all. Sure, I make a little return on my investment here and there, but my main priority, as it was from the beginning, is to look after the well-being of these honest, working...
I see what my partner means, where it actually looks like they are properly talking.
Where's the whistle?
Right in the middle of town, but with the threat out there, I'm not endangering innocent Oseram lives.
I'm going to clear out the Bristlebacks. And when I'm done, this valley is going to get moving.
If that's what it takes. Until then, I'll keep looking after the safety of these good folk.
Just be ready to blow the whistle.
Okay.
Better see what that Carja magistrate wanted.
Unknown melee pet. Machine strike. Unknown.
I bet he's in the tavern.
I've had too much to...
Stitcher, your stash, workbench, and goods, right. Go up here then.
Raise up the bellows.
Oh.
Watch where you go.
How do I talk to these guys then?
Feast your eyes on the glory, Nora. Eyes up here, sister. See you up and about. To the grave.
Ah, Savior, over here.
I'll be there in a minute.
Even the savior of Meridian needs a
Play
to
machine
revel in some
strike.
strike, sister. Let me set the board.
What? Righty-ho. Mother commented. On the carpet?
My boxing from the cabinet.
Why didn't you ask? Oh. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Did one comment? Stay safe, everyone. We will, Mother.
I was just passing by.
First timer, huh? Don't worry about it. I'll go easy on you. You got any pieces?
No.
Well, aren't you in luck then? I got an extra set. A Tanakh original straight out of the Forbidden West. Sit. I'll run you through it in a hot spark. I'll give you something special if you win it on my boards, too.
Oh, okay. Excuse me. Right. Beginner's tutorial. Okay, so beginner's set. Are you ready to start the beginner's
All right,
okay.
let's start off simple. The Tanakhs like to say that Machine Strike is a game of pure strategy. We each get a set of pieces. Each piece represents a kind of machine, and each machine is worth a different number of victory points. And to win the game, you'll need to gain 7 victory points by destroying the opponent's machines. It can be tricky remembering the details of every machine, so we use these notes to keep track of them. You see, that there is how many victory points you'll get for destroying that machine. Notes also tell you how far a piece can move, how powerful their attacks are, the distance they can strike from, and of course, their health. Okay, that's enough for now. Let's just play. I'll explain the rest as we go. I own the board, so I get to choose who goes first. Since this is your first time, I'll let you go. Usually you get to choose which pieces to set on the board, but this will do for now. Pick up that machine piece to your right, and move it forward. And remember, each machine can only move a certain distance. Take a look at your notes if you need a reminder. Easy enough, huh? Now, you get to move 2 machines each round, so go ahead and pick a second machine. Perfect.
Oh,
There's not much else to do for now, so just end your turn. We're forging onwards.
All right,
Let me
okay.
move my pieces here. And we're back to you. This time, why don't you try attacking one of my pieces? Try with that machine on your right first.
Right.
Now move the piece close. When performing an attack, you'll be testing your machine's combat power against the opponent's. A machine's combat power is a combination of the terrain your machine is standing on and its own attack power. This board only has grassland terrain, which has no effect on a machine's combat power. And your current machine has 2 points of attack power. So in total, your machine's combat power equals 2 points. Since my machine isn't the one attacking, it has 0 points of attack power. And just like your machine, it's not affected by grassland terrain. So right now, the difference in combat power between the 2 machines is 2 points. This means your machine can do 2 points of damage to my machine. Did you get all that?
I guess.
I knew you were a smart
yeah.
one. Finish up by attacking my machine. Not pulling any punches, huh? Now grab that second machine of yours. See how your machine can't move close enough to attack mine? You can make your machine sprint. That lets it move 1 space further. Try it out. Downside to sprinting is that your machine can no longer attack. Now, some players like to take a risk and overcharge their machine in cases like this. Overcharging lets you attack after a sprint, but it will damage your machine's health by 2 points. So use at your own discretion. That's about it for your turn, then.
Okay.
Now, I'll let you in on a neat trick. That machine of yours, the one closest to me, grab a hold of it.
Which? That
Same
one?
as in the wilds, machines have both armored points and weak points. You can see them marked on the pieces. Blue shows where their armor is thickest. Hit them there, and you'll do some damage, but not a lot. Now, red shows the machine's weak points. Hit those, and you'll deal a mighty blow. Here, let me show you. Rotate that piece so your machine faces mine. Now let that machine have it. Off the board she goes, and there's your first victory points. You don't have 7 of them yet, so let's keep going. Your machine attacked mine, but hasn't moved yet. Go ahead and move downwards towards my remaining piece. You've already attacked a machine and moved your piece. But if you overcharge your machine, you can attack a second time. And by the look of your machine, you'd be sacrificing your piece to defeat mine. But sometimes that can be a good thing. Overcharge your machine to attack mine a second time, and I'll show you what I mean.
Okay.
Ain't that a thrill? Now, because your machine was knocked out at the same time as mine, we both get the victory points our machines are worth. Good news is, since you're the one attacking, you're gonna receive your victory points before I do. Which means you can reach the coveted 7 victory points first. That's why sometimes losing a piece can be the best way to end a game in your favor. Now, You'll notice you didn't get quite up to 7 victory points this time, but you did destroy all my pieces. That means you're the winner. That wasn't so hard, was it? Just remember to always check for the best terrain to attack from. You'd be surprised the advantage you can gain over an opponent like that. I know it saved my behind in a game or two.
85.
I'll try and remember that.
Oh, before I forget,
Just
these
leave
are
it.
all my spare pieces.
No, I
I
know.
want
Just
the
leave it till
savior of
100.
Meridian to have them. It's a small set to be sure, but it should be enough to get you in on
I know
any
you're
strike games you
bored.
find out there. You might even fancy looking out for them strike carvers.
I might be taking you out
Kinds
somewhere
of
tomorrow,
unique
right?
pieces that
Don't
can
know where.
turn the game in your favor. Though they'll need the right materials to craft you.
Maybe. I don't know,
You
alright?
might find them in the wilds if you're lucky. I know I've lost my fair
Huh?
share of
I'm not
pieces
doing that
after
big photo again.
No, I
night
might
machine
take you to
hunting,
Basingstoke.
brew hopping. No need to thank
To the
me. Always a
Aquadrome.
pleasure to help out new strike players.
That's the swim.
Yeah,
Now, if you feel like playing a
maybe.
real
Depends
game,
on
I've got plenty of other boards.
what we got to do.
I could even teach you a
All
few more
and
tricks
all
if you're up
the
for
as
it.
well.
Yeah.
Thanks. I'll think about it.
Just relax.
He's very relaxed.
Yeah. Leave him or just should leave him.
Right. Terrain and knockback tutorial. Let's try this one then.
Ah, I knew I'd make a strike player out of you yet. How about this time I tell you how to use a board's terrain to your advantage?
Oh.
This
that's
one's
great.
got all the different terrains you can
This is
encounter
called
in a game.
Strike Attack. It's a
Knowing
you
when and
get
how
to
use
play
them can mean the difference
games
between
within a
victory
game.
and defeat. Terrain mainly affects your machine's combat power.
Kind of.
As you know, when fighting an
you got,
opponent's
like-
machine, you
yeah.
compare its combat
You
power
look
to
like-
yours.
Queen and queen.
The higher your
Very
machine's
good.
combat power,
Don't-
the
don't
more
force
damage
it
you
in.
can do.
Yeah.
So finding the right
Yeah.
terrain is an essential strategy for
I don't get
overpowering your
chess.
opponent.
Oh, do you know?
Here, I'll show you.
No.
No skill.
Grab that
Huh?
piece to your left and
Oh,
move
they
to
got-
attack my
Right.
machines.
Hang on.
Okay, I'll leave.
So
Go to it.
Now let's take a look at your machine's combat power. Combat power is the sum of a machine's attack power and the value of the terrain it's standing on. Since your machine is attacking, it's using its 2 points of attack power. It's also standing on forest terrain with a value of 1 point. Add those together,
Okay.
and your machine has
Well-
3 points of combat power. My machine is
Okay, I
standing
get
on
that.
grassland terrain with a value of 0 points.
You play.
It's also not attacking.
No, no,
which
no, it's
means
just
their
me.
attack
Oh,
points
okay.
aren't in play. So my combat power is 0.
nah.
This means your machine can do 3 points of damage. Go
At
ahead
least
and
the
test
winds
it out.
have died down.
Yeah. So I think it'll be alright tomorrow.
There you go.
I don't know.
Now, choosing the right terrain doesn't just improve your offense. It can also help defend your machines from attack. Grab your other piece and place it in front of my second machine. Since it's standing on grassland terrain, this terrain has a value of 0. This means your machine's combat power adds up to 2 points. My machine can't use their attack powers since they're defending their position. But they have the higher ground. They're standing on forest terrain, which is worth 1 point. This means my combat power adds up to 1 point. Now, the front of my machine is colored blue. This means that the spot you're about to attack has armor protecting it. Which means my machine gets an extra point, giving it a total of 2 combat power points. If we compare the combat power of both machines, you'll see that you won't be able to do any damage. Whenever you're unable to top an opponent's combat power, you can still choose to attack and break their machine's defenses instead. Go ahead, try it out and see what happens.
I'm never going to remember all of this.
Ha, see? When you break a machine's defenses, you can knock it backwards. Sure, both our machines will receive 1 point of damage, but knocking my machine off that terrain makes it more vulnerable to attacks. Not only that, if my machine had been blocked from moving backwards, it would have received an extra point of damage. And if my machine had been blocked by another one of my pieces, that machine would have received damage
I
as
don't know
well.
what happened.
That's why breaking a machine's defenses is a great way to deal damage to several pieces at once. Useful, right? Okay, now go ahead and end your turn. There's still one more thing I want to show you.
Okay.
All right, as we've seen, the higher the terrain, the more it'll add to your machine's combat power. However, there are two other terrains that work a little differently. This is what we call a chasm. Only flying machines can be placed on those. But it'll take away 2 combat points if you do, so be wary. This is marsh terrain. Landing on it will take away 1 combat power point from most machines. It'll also keep your machine from moving for the rest of the turn. Here, let me show you. Grab that machine on your left.
That one.
See? All you can do now is wait for your next turn to move again. Or you can overcharge your machine to get out of there. You can still attack any nearby enemies so you're not completely helpless. Well, I think that's enough yammering from me for now. Promise it'll all come in handy next time you play.
Oh, okay. So, machine types and skills tutorial. I'll do all of them.
Here for more tips?
Yeah.
Why don't I tell you a bit more about the pieces we used to play? In a normal game, you get to choose which machines you place on the board. Each one is worth a certain number of setup points, and you can spend up to 10 assembling your army.
Okay.
Knowing what each machine brings to the game and building an army that matches your strategy is the key to becoming a machine strike master. When assembling your army, there are a few things to keep in mind. First and foremost, you can never have more than 4 of the same machine on the board at the same time.
Okay.
With that in mind, most players would choose machines based on how far they can move or how much attack power they have. But a real strike player will be looking at a machine's type and skills.
Okay.
Let's take a quick look, shall we? Pick up that machine on your left. All right, let's talk about the different ways in which a machine attacks its opponents. In other words, its machine type. If you look at your notes, you'll see this machine here is a melee type.
Which is a borrower.
You can also tell by the shape of the base the piece stands on. A melee type machine attacks the first enemy within range, and no one else. We've seen this plenty of times, so just move that piece forward so I can show you some more stuff. Great, now grab your other machine. Looks like we've got ourselves a gunner type machine here. This means they'll only hit the farthest enemy in their attack range. Let's move that machine forward and end your turn so we can take a look at the rest of the pieces. Let's go with this piece first. This is a ram type machine. Attack an enemy with it and it'll push the piece backwards. Like this. See, now my machine has taken over your machine's spot on the board. This is a great way to take the advantage away from your opponent if they have the higher ground. Looks like we have one more piece to look at. Now this is a beauty of a piece, a dash type machine. When it attacks, it'll move to the end of its attack range and damage every machine in its path, including your own. So make sure you take a good look at the board before you send it off to the races. You should also make sure it's able to finish its attack on an empty spot. Otherwise, you won't be able to attack at all. Here, I'll show you. Look, it even rotated your piece. A nifty little piece you'll definitely want in your set. If you look at your notes, you'll notice this particular machine has one of the skills I mentioned before. There's quite a few of those, and we haven't even looked at all the machine types yet. But I'm pretty sure you've got more important things to do, so I made you a list. It's got all the tips and tricks we talked about, too. I think that about does it for now, so if you want to play a real game, just let me know.
Not at the minute. Okay, regular challenge, so... okay.
Don't be a stranger.
I won't. Okay, so... he was up here, wasn't he?
Savior, thank you for taking the time. And my condolences that you had to endure Ulvund's bloviating.
I've dealt with worse. It sounds like he's really trying to put you over the barrel.
The idea that the Carja purposely let bristlebacks into the Daunt, it's completely absurd. But the louder and longer he says it, the more support he'll get for his damned concession decree.
How did the Bristlebacks get into the Daunt?
No one knows for sure. The first report of them came from west of the quarry. But unless they have wings I don't know about, I don't see how they could have come over the mountains.
No other way in.
The only way I know about is Barren Light. Look, if you can get to the bottom of this, I can offer a considerable bounty in return. Help me shut Ulvund up.
With pleasure.
What is this concession decree that Ulvund wants?
He wants the Sundom to designate portions of the Daunt as Oseram holdings. Only the portions, mind you, that produce any value.
Let me guess. Because he stands to profit somehow?
Exactly. With the Daunt under Oseram law, he could secure more investment for their numerous ventures.
He can't get those investments without the concession?
No. Not while there's a chance the Sundom could revoke their access. Hence, why the concession is so important to him. And why blaming the Carja for the Bristlebacks, no matter how absurd, works in his favor.
How did you get stuck out here?
I asked for the posting, believe it or not. Overseeing the entire valley on behalf of the Sun King? It was an honor. Is an honor, I mean.
But your job would be a lot easier without someone like Ulvund blasting hot air all the time?
Ulvund's not going anywhere. He's been around longer than I have. Even fancies himself the founder of Chainscrape. Now, I'll find a way to live with him. I have to.
How does blaming the Carja for the Bristlebacks help Ulvund get his concession?
Look around. This may be the Sundom, but Chainscrape is all gears and rust and bad ale. Claiming that the Carja loosed the Bristlebacks in order to intimidate Oseram laborers into obedience. Well, let's just say no one here has forgotten the atrocities of the Mad Sun King. And with the Bristlebacks bringing work in the valley to a halt, Ulvund has plenty of time to pick at barely healed wounds.
And if the Oseram refuse to work, unless the concession is signed, you won't have a choice.
Correct. The reconstruction of Barren Light must continue.
Okay.
You said the Bristlebacks were first spotted west of the quarry?
Yes, according to one terrified laborer, said the ground trembled before they came charging down the hillside. He took off and ran all the way here.
Good place to start looking, then.
If you learn the truth, maybe Ulvund will stop blaming the Carja for every problem under the sun, and maybe then he'll actually focus on rebuilding Barren Light instead.
Okay.
Anyone see where I put my drink? Anyone? Anyone? Oh, there it is.
Hey! See? I can do it.
It seems like bitter leaf likes to grow on rocky. Okay, I think I have enough bitter leaf.
Right, what? Where are we going? That way. Lollipop, lollipop, lolly, 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 lollipop. Ba-dum, bum, bum, lollipop, lollipop. Anything there? Oh, hello. Data point.
If I find where these machines are made, I might learn how to override them.
No, 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 no. Do 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 do.